What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. Today we're going to go over this motorcycle braking mistake. It's also a vision mistake, so if you're out there riding or even just driving or even not doing anything, this is good information to know before you head out on the road. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Putain.
So this is a typical situation here. Let's go ahead and move forward just a little bit. And this right here is what I'm talking about. Can you see around this vehicle? Line of sight is very important for us as motorcyclists because we can't stop on a dime as much as you think your Brembo brakes are good. And you just won't be able to, okay? You have a total stopping distance, okay? Perception, reaction, which is when you're going to go ahead and reach for those front brakes and rear brakes, and then actual braking distance. So the moment you apply brakes to the moment you stop is the braking distance, and that increases the more speed you go. So total stopping distance is all of those combined. And vision is very important because you want to know what's ahead of the vehicle in front of you, because if you know what's ahead of the vehicle in front of you and they're applying the brakes, or there's something like an obstacle in front of the vehicle in front of you that you see first, it gives you an opportunity to reduce that perception and reduce that reaction, and your braking distance might actually be reduced because you're rolling off the throttle just a little bit. So that's going to be the biggest problem here and the biggest takeaway. So right here, he's not paying attention too much to the vehicle in front. You know, you're just kind of not white stage, but maybe your yellow stage. Okay, so white, yellow, orange, red, and brown. There's the stage color code chart on the bottom right of your screen. White stage, you definitely don't want to be in. Yellow stage, you can be in most of the time. But if you're this close to a vehicle and you can't see around them, this is one of those opportunities to go into orange stage and just kind of get ready for those brakes, just in case. Now, moving off to a position of good vision, you can actually stay in yellow stage longer. And I prefer to stay in yellow stage because orange stage, you're a little bit more paranoid. Yellow stage, you're zoned in, still scanning for hazards. And the only way you can scan for hazards is, guess what? Vision. So I'd actually be moving off to the left or a little bit to the right. It all depends on which is safest. You know, off to the left, you have oncoming traffic. Off to the right, you have an escape path that's closest to the right side with traffic, so that way you're not running into head-on traffic when you have to do an escape path, just in case. So I would move off to the right just a little bit, so that way I can see, I can escape to the right if I have to, I can brake and then still lane filter. So I'm setting myself up for success. In this situation, we didn't set ourselves up for success. We kind of waited to the last second. So when I talked about perception, reaction, and braking distance, this is it right here. So we're seeing the brake lights, us, you know, right here. But as soon as he does this, you see his hand move to roll off the throttle. That is roughly the moment he perceives it. It takes about a half second, full second to perceive and then move on to reaction. And then the moment he applies his fingers right there, this is the moment we start to react. So we're reacting, boom. Now we're starting to squeeze. Now from here to when we stop is going to be braking distance. So add all three of them, total stopping distance. Is this enough braking distance for this motorcyclist at this speed at 42 miles per hour? This is not enough braking distance for miles per hour, 43, 42 miles per hour. So we're going to have to swerve at some point. So that's why we need to know what we're good at when it comes to braking and swerving, what we can do and what our bikes can do. The only way you're going to know that is if you go to the parking lot and practice your emergency braking, nice squeeze of the progressive braking. Think of like squeezing an orange. You're squeezing more and more and more. You're not smashing it because you'll get orange juice everywhere. So you go out and practice in a parking lot. You do that. You also practice your swerving, so you're going to know how far you can really stop at certain distances. Position yourself for success, move off to the right side so you have good vision, and if something like this happens, the dude slams his brakes, just switch lanes. You don't even have to swerve, just switch lanes, especially if you did a 360-degree situational awareness. Very important. You will do this on a bike, and you can do this in a car, you can do this on your bicycle, you can do this while walking your dog. You can do this at any moment in time. Just make sure you're being situationally aware and you have good vision. Biggest thing here. So that's not what happened. We hit this and we fell down. So luckily, it wasn't that big of an issue because, you know, it was almost zero speed, but my guess is the vehicle up in front right there decided to slam the brakes and made this car slam his brakes and made you slam your brakes. I'd rather react to the car ahead of him. Okay, that's where I'm getting at. With that said, though, I'll see you guys soon and see you in the live streams.